Okay. So I have put today's lecture on recording mode. So as we were discussing on noun and pronoun agreement, we have completed that day before yesterday. So I would request you to please start practicing on that and try to apply that in your writing as well as in your spoken skills. So today we are going to start, or we are going to begin with the tenses. As you know that there are three type of tenses: present, past, and future. You must have discussed these or learned in your schooling throughout up to, I would say that, in plus two. But here we are just to polish, because sometimes we do things, as I've told you, that it has got two of the reasons we do grammar. One is we do just for the sake of, because we have to write the answer of the question which is given to you in your paper. Second thing is we do because we want to learn that and want to apply that actually in our skills. Skill of what? As I told you, there are four skills: reading skills, writing skills, listening, and speaking skills. For you, I would say that all the four skills are very important, but writing and spoken skills are most important for you, because when you will join in your job, on your job, so you're supposed to write so many of things, and you have to speak a lot of, what do you call, like, it has got need of spoken skills to improve. So the first thing, or the first tense, is called as a present indefinite tense, or present simple we call it. So how many of you know the rule of a present indefinite? Please tell. Yes, students, present indefinite tense. What are the rules? If you have to make the one sentence in present indefinite, what rules do we follow? Can anyone tell? Students, are you listening?
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
Um, Sir, rule is subject plus verb की first form plus
Okay.
object
Okay.
with plural
Hmm.
s या es लगेगा सर
Okay.
verb की first form के साथ.
Very right. और सिंगुलर के साथ क्या लगेगा?
डू और डज सर ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਰਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਚ
Very good.
ਆਪਾਂ
Look,
ਉਹ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਵੀ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਲਾਣਾ ਡੂ ਡਜ਼ ਫਿਰ
very
ਫਸਟ
good.
ਫਾਰਮ.
Very good. Very good. Look, now इसको थोड़ा सा we'll try to do, rearrange that what exactly it is. You have given the right answer. We're supposed to apply yes or yes, and we're supposed to apply do or does, but it is with a singular or plural. It is, we need to clarify that there are three types. We have a subcategories. First is uh, present indefinite affirmative. Then we have negative. Then we have interrogative, and then we have interrogative. Okay. So in affirmative sentences, we have application of S or ES. You're totally right. But it will be with the subjects like, he, she, it, and name. It's not plural basically. Like if there will be any name like Ram, Sham, Harpreet, Rakesh, something like that. Okay, then if you directly write down he or she, then we're supposed to apply S or ES. So he, she, it, name, we apply S or ES, and rest we apply just the verb's first form. We will not apply S or ES. For example, he plays cricket, I play cricket. I plays cricket नहीं आएगा. We cannot apply S or ES with the other subject. So he, she, it, and name we're supposed to, you know, keep that into our mind. We're supposed to use only this. Then here comes the second one, which is called as negative. Okay. So in negative, how do we apply? We apply do not or does not. So basically, again, where we apply S or ES, we're supposed to apply does not. Like he does not, she does not, Ram does not, it does not, something. And when you apply do, so it will be for the rest of the other. That's like they do not, I do not, so we do not. So this will be the application in the negative sentence. So affirmative, we do not apply do not or does not. It is just for the affirmative sentences. So there will be only application of S or ES or verbs first form. So there will be two categories. In one line, you only write down simple verbs first form, will not apply any S or ES. In the second line, you apply S or ES, because these they that line, it belongs to one special category, as I've told you that you cannot tell it as a singular or plural, or you can, for make it more easier, you can just keep or remember these words or subjects I told you, that he, she, it, and name. That will be the answer. Here comes the interrogative. So rule remains the same, but the positioning it will change. In the interrogative, what will happen? The does or do it will come at the beginning. At the starting, we use do or does. Okay. Do you work here? Does he work here? So do or does it will be positioned at the starting of the sentence when you have to ask a question to somebody. So these are called as interrogative sentences where we ask the questions to somebody. Okay, these are called interrogative sentences. Then the fourth one, that is called as negative interrogative. Sometimes there are sentences where we apply both the things, negative as well as interrogative. So how do we use over there? How will we apply that rule over there? It will be like, does he not work here, or does he not do this? So does also come over here, not also come over here. So in between of it will be a subject. Does he not do his work? So that is how we apply. The second thing is when we apply do. Here it was the sentence, example of a sentence where we apply the does. Second sentence is where we apply the do. So here we apply like that. Do I not know you? So do it will come at the starting, then it will have the subject, and it will have the what you call the not, then you will complete the sentence. So these are the four actually the basic main categories when you try to learn English. It's the first sentence, first tense I will direct you from the exercises point of view. Means I am going to say I'll also give the exercise and you're supposed to solve it. But for now, you need to keep these four things into your mind. कौन सी हैं? Present indefinite, we have affirmative sentences, we have negative sentences, we have interrogative sentences, and we have interrogative negative sentences. In affirmative, you simply apply S or ES and verbs first ones. You're supposed to know this thing where you'll apply the S or ES, where you'll apply only verbs first one. In the negative, it will be the application of do not and does not, as I told you that. Where you apply the does and where you apply the do. Third form is interrogative. Do or does will come at the starting of it, and interrogative negative means both do does along with not we will complete the sentence. So this is what you call the present indefinite tense. Is it clear to everybody now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Any question? Any confusion?
No.
Go for a minute. Okay. Now I'll ask you the questions which you're supposed to answer the same. So now I'll share screen with you, so you're supposed to answer those questions along with me. Hold on for a second. Okay. So here comes the first sentence. The screen is visible to you, everybody?
yes, sir.
Okay. The first thing is I dash at a bank. Work, works, or working.
Work,
I work at
Work.
Okay. Okay.
Work.
There are almost 15, 16 students present over here. So I'll ask you that those who are in favor of works, please unmute yourself. Works. Here, I works at a bank. So those who are in favor of works, please tell.
Ish.
Okay, Kajal works. काजल गुप्ता बच्चे वर्क्स आप वर्क्स में बोल रहे हो
सर वर्क में
वर्क वर्क्स वाला कोई बच्चा यहाँ पे anybody who is in favor of works no anybody who is in favor of working Anybody who is in favor of working? No. And those who are in favor of work? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Work.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's the correct answer. You can see in your screen. The first one is the correct answer. So I work at bank. Why it has come? We know this thing that I told you that we're supposed to apply only verbs first form, not S or yes, with these type of sentences. She dashed with her parents. Live, lives, and living.
Live.
Okay, good.
Leaves.
Please unmute yourself. Those who just said that.
She lives with her parents.
Who just said that live? Who is in favor of live? She live with her parents. Oh, and those are in favor of she lives with her parents.
Yes,
She
sir.
lives.
Lives with her parents.
Sir, lives.
Okay.
Leaves, sir.
Lives.
Anybody who is in favor of living? No? So you're right, but I'm just trying to tell that these are minor mistakes. Sometimes we come, not sometimes, usually we come. In a flow, sometimes we say that she lives with her parents. No, we're supposed to apply she lives with her parents because here we need to apply SOS. Try to understand the difference. It is I, so we do not apply S over here. We applied only verbs first form. So here it is she, that is how we apply S or ES here. So that is how it is a complete correct sentence. Third one, cows dash on grass. Feed, feeds, and feeding.
Feed.
Feed.
Feed, sir.
Feed, sir.
Yes,
Feed, sir.
cows feeds or cows feed. Cows,
Feed.
those are in favor of cows feed, please tell.
Yes, sir. Feed.
Sir, feeds
Sir.
cows.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and
First
those
one,
are in
feed.
favor of cow feeds.
Yes, sir. Cows feed.
Cows feeding or cow feeds, please. Those
Cow.
are
Sir,
huh?
cow feeds.
Cow feeds.
Cow feeds.
Okay. So here is the answer. If it has a plural here, if it applies S over here, we cannot apply S again. So we supposed to apply only feed. If you apply S again over here, it is wrong. You cannot apply cows and feeds. You're supposed to apply cows feed on the grass. So that is the correct answer. Next is he dashed a handsome salary on answer earning.
He
Ants.
Ons,
Ons.
on जो अन बोल रहे हैं वो गलत अभी भी.
Ans, sir.
It's
Ans.
ons.
Ants.
B.
Ants.
Ons is
Sir,
the
ons.
right. If you are saying on, it is wrong answer. Again, I'm trying to say keep this thing in your mind. Try to listen it from this point. I told you one is we are learning because a question it can come to you into your paper which you're supposed to solve. Another one is when you write down something, for example, if you're writing an essay, writing a letter, okay, so you should keep that into your mind, these rules which you're supposed to follow. तो ये दो तरीके से आपके सामने आ रही है चीज. वन इज आपको एक पेपर में इसको सॉल्व करना है एज ए ग्रामर. दूसरा पेपर में एक और क्वेश्चन आ रहा है, वो ऐसे भी हो सकता है, लेटर भी हो सकती है, उसको जब हमने लिखना है तो ये सब चीजें में आपकी गलती ना हो क्योंकि वही एक्चुअल पॉइंट है, वही एक्चुअल आउटपुट है. दिस इज जस्ट टू टेल यू, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू कम एनीवेयर इन योर लाइफ. Nobody is going to ask you questions in grammar, but whenever you will write down something, when you will draft something, this is going to automatically apply over there. इसको दो तरीके से याद रखना. Janet dash to be a singer. Janet want to be, wants to be, or wanting to
Wants.
Wants to be.
Wants.
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 be. Very good, very good. So Janet wants to be. That's right answer. It's not want, it's wants. क्योंकि ये Janet है, he, she, it, and name. So Janet is a name. So that is how we apply wants. Emily dash delicious cookies. Make, makes, or
Makes.
making.
Make.
Delicious cookies.
Makes. Emily makes.
Makes.
Again, it's a name, so that is how we apply S or ES over here. So that comes as a makes. Then the next is Aarti and her husband dash in Singapore.
Leave.
Live.
It's live or lives.
Leave.
Aarti
Live.
and her husband.
Leave.
Sure,
Live.
it's not lives.
Leave.
Live ही आएगा. Yes, it's a correct answer. Aarti and her husband Dash in Singapore live in Singapore. Good. And there is a Rohan and Sania Dash to play card games.
Like.
Rohan,
Like.
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 Rohan and Sania.
Like.
Like.
Like to play.
Correct. Sophia Dash English very well.
Speaks.
Sophia
Speak.
speaks.
Speaks.
Speaks English very well.
Speaks.
Okay. Martin Dash for a walk in the morning.
Goes.
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 Good. My grandfather Dash his pet dog.
Adores.
Adore or adores?
Adores.
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 There
No,
should be sound
adores.
of S.
Adores.
Adores. Plants dash water and sunlight for making the food. Needs or
Plant
needing.
needs.
Need.
Need.
Needs.
Need.
Need.
Need. Need.
Needs.
Need.
Plants need water and sunlight for their food. So you have answered correctly to all the exercises. So you must have now understood that what exactly is present indefinite tense, right? Now uh, I'll ask you something. Means you're supposed to translate it, or I'll ask you a question. You're supposed to answer it. For example, my father works at railway station, something like that. My father works in Gulzar Group of Institute, something like that. So what could be the question of it? Don't speak. Write over here. I want to see that. How do you write and who writes it first? My father works in Gulzar Group of Institutes. You were supposed to write down the interrogative of it. अगर आपको इसका किसी को क्वेश्चन पूछना है कि आपके पिताजी क्या काम करते हैं या कहाँ पर काम करते हैं, ये दोनों तरीके से, तो आपका क्वेश्चन कैसे लिखा जाएगा? प्लीज राइट डाउन इनटू द चैट बॉक्स. Interrogate of it. I have given the answer to you. I gave you answer. And my father works in Gulzar Group of Institutes. You're supposed to write down the question of it. Right, please? Write in the chat box. Let's see who will write first. First and correct. Where your father works? Where does your father work? Does your father work in GGI? Okay. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Is my father work in GGI? Where does your father works? Okay. Amandeep Vishal Thakur. Where does your father work? Okay. Yes. What about other students? Yes, बेटा. बाकी बच्चे भी फटाफट से लिखो. I want to see Amandeep, Amit, Kajal, Shivat. Who else is there? Yes, बेटा. कितने बच्चे हैं? बोलिए. चलिए. Those who have written down, I would like to see and tell you, where does your father work? Sujay Kamble. Totally right. Where does your father work? आपके पिताजी कहाँ काम करते हैं? अगर क्वेश्चन हो आपके पिताजी क्या काम करते हैं, then what would be the answer? आपके पिताजी क्या काम करते हैं? Right. Don't speak. Right here. Right over here. Write your answer over here. जिधर आप इसका आंसर लिखिए तो जो ऊपर वाले हैं आई विल टेल यू इसमें करेक्ट क्या है और if it has got mistake where does your father work it's right from this point of view Sijay Kamble Ariman Sharma where your father works it is wrong you cannot ask question like that we just have discussed that's why I told you you know it seems like very simple that we are just discussing present indefinite but see when you have to apply interrogative you're supposed to use does or do but you have not used over here so it's incorrect does your father works in GJ it's again wrong you are applying does Harpreet Singh you are applying does and works both S and S it's a wrong sentence Suhail Singh does your father works the same thing works wrong answer Anu Singh is my father works in wrong answer Amanjit Singh where does your father works wrong answer you are applying does and S works wrong answer where does your father work? Right, Vishal Thakur. Where does your father work? Shivdat, right answer. Amit Kumar, where does your father works? Wrong answer. We are applying does and works together. Kajal Gupta, does your father work in GGI? Question, you made it like you used this thing, but it was something, it's supposed to come into the answer. So where does your father work is basically the right way of asking. That's fine. I can say that if you know the name of the organization. Does your father works at GJ? Wrong answer. Thompson Charam works. Does. Roshan Kumar Thakur. Does your father works? गलत है. S and S दो बार लगा रहे हो. Does your father works? गलत है. Ansel Dar. Where does your father works? गलत है. Does and S you are applying. Ansel Dar. Wrong answer. Bhupinder Singh. Does your father work at GJ? At क्या होता है? Vishal Thakur, what does your father do? Yes, that's the right answer. What does your father? What does your father do? Where does your father work? Or what does your father do? Sujay, that's wrong. What does your father work? That's a wrong answer. It's the right answer. What does your father do? Vishal Thakur, what your father does? Wrong answer. Arnoor, what type of work your father do? That's something you asked tricky, but right is what does your father do? Shall Singh, what does your father's work? No, it's not like that. What does your father work? Do क्या करते हैं? What does he do? What does your father work? Where does your father work? That is the previous one answer. Yes, that's right answer. Where does your father work? No. Where does your father? Yes, right. Where does your father work? Because it was where. So if it is what, so it will do, not work. We'll ask what does he do? What does he work नहीं आएगा. What does your father do? That's fine. What does he do? What does your father? That's fine. So I think is it clear to everybody now that how we supposed to do it? Okay. Uh, so we just have discussed one of the point like if it has a plural like cows or something, then we again do not need to apply S over here. We simply apply the singular over here, meaning the verb's first form. So if it will be dogs bark or dogs barks, so it will be dogs bark, right? Because plural is at the starting, so we cannot write twice plural. Dogs bark, cows feed, something like that. Okay, let's do one more thing. If you're supposed to write down the question, again the question of it interrogative, और आपको ट्रांसलेशन हिंदी में भी बता देता हूँ. अगर आपको बताओ तुम्हें ये कैसे पता है, अगर आई हैव गिवन आंसर टू समबडी कि वो आज कॉलेज नहीं आएगा, वो आज क्लास नहीं लगाएगा, सो तो आपका क्वेश्चन होगा तुम्हें ये कैसे पता है. सो व्हाट विल बी द ट्रांसलेशन ऑफ इट? He'll not come today. If my answer is he'll not come today, he'll not join class today. So आपका क्वेश्चन ये होगा कि तुम्हें ये कैसे पता है, which is present indefinite tense. So how would you translate it? Would you please write down over here? Write down in the chat box. Okay, nice. Okay, good. Good. Amandeep Singh, Vishal, Suhail, Shivdat, okay. Kajal, good, good. अमित कुमार जी क्वेश्चन मार्क क्यों डाल रहे हो? You're supposed to translate it, or you can write down the question of it. I asked you a question that he'll not join class today. So question it would be that तुम्हें कैसे पता है? So you're supposed to write the translation of it. I know he'll not join today class. Very good, Sujay Kamle's right, but here you're supposed to apply apostrophe s today's class. Rest is perfectly right. How do you know? How do you know? So this is right answer. Do not apply did over here. Did is wrong. The right answer is, let me check from the starting. Suhail saying, how did you know, Amandeep? How did you know is wrong? How do you know is right? Vishal Thakur, how do you know right? Shivdat, how do you know wrong? Kajal Gupta, how do you know right? How do you know Amit is right? Harnoor, how do you know is right? Sujay Kamble, how do you know he'll not join? That's a complete sentence, very right. How do you know? How did you know is wrong? From where you come, no, that he is not coming. No, it is not. इसका ट्रांसलेशन इफ विल डू वेयर यू कम नो, ये भी गलत है. वेयर यू कम टू नो, टू भी बीच में ना चाहिए. वेयर कम टू नो, तो तुम्हें ये कहाँ से पता चलता है? ठीक है, ये कम टू नो हमने पूछा है तुम्हें कैसे पता है? हाउ डू यू नो? सिंपली हाउ डू यू नो दैट ही इज नॉट कमिंग, वो आज नहीं आ रहा. Today's class, Sajay computers. Yes, fine, Sajay. That's apostrophes means when you try to connect with something. When you only write S, so it's plural. It's only plural. Okay, guys. These are very small things. You can see. I'm just asking you, very minute questions. But what it happens? यही आप लोगों को मैं समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि one thing is you write down the answer in the paper. जो हमने पहले किया, देखिए ऑलमोस्ट सारी क्लास ने, जो मैंने एक्सरसाइज डिस्कस की, सारी क्लास ने राइट आंसर दिया. एक भी बच्चा नहीं था जिसका गलत आंसर. तो ग्रामर जब हमने ये चीज की तो इसमें आपके 12 पे 12 करेक्ट आंसर. लेकिन ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, जब हमने इसको लिखना शुरू किया, आई टोल्ड यू दैट यू सपोज टू इम्प्लीमेंट दैट इन योर ड्राफ्टिंग. लेकिन जब हमने इसको ड्राफ्टिंग करनी शुरू की तब प्रॉब्लम आई. बहुत सारे बच्चों ने इसमें वो मिस्टेक्स की जो आपको समझा रहा हूँ कि एस कहाँ लगना है, एस कहाँ, unnecessary नहीं. So that is why I suggest you guys, please do practice on it. That is very important for you, that you supposed to do practice. आप लोगों को इसमें प्रैक्टिस ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा करनी पड़ेगी. नाउन प्रोनाउन अग्रीमेंट भी आपको बार बार बोल रहा हूँ. एक एक्सरसाइज करना इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग, इसको किसी चीज़ के ऊपर अप्लाई करना दैट्स अ सेपरेट. और हमारा जो मकसद है, द एम ऑफ आर इज टू know that how can we write correctly or how can we draft correctly. तो हमने जो एंड हमारा गोल है वो यही है कि हम लोगों को सीखना है that how we can write down well any of the writing with right form of it. तो आप लोगों से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप छोटे छोटे ड्राफ्टिंग अपने साथ शुरू कर दीजिए ताकि आप लोगों को कोई दिक्कत ना आए. when you write down your paper, I suggested even day before yesterday, on Friday I mean, that you're supposed to start writing something. It can be article. The very informative thing is you should start reading newspapers and start rewriting articles on it. That's very important, because read any of the article from newspaper. One thing is you get a knowledge. What you see in your TV channels, I would rather say that it is just practice of listening, and other things that it will just they'll just keep repeating one news whole day. But when you read newspaper, one thing, you get information of everything in the one paper. It will have a sports section, it will have the economic section, it will have politics section, it will have all other kind of news, the world news. So every day if you read newspaper, first of all, your information it will be improved. Okay. And second thing, you pick one article of your choice. It can be sports article, it can be anything else, and try to reframe it again. Try to rewrite again in your own language. Try to see that are you able to write down it or not. Then every day try to see whatever you write down, in the tenses or the noun pronoun agreement, the grammar we discuss every day. Check it from that point of view that do you commit any mistake over there. That is exactly the real practice of grammar. और बार बार बोल रहा हूँ जो ग्रामर है आपको शायद पेपर में 10 या 15 नंबर से ज़्यादा ना आए, लेकिन आपका जो पेपर है दैट विल बी मोर ऑफ डिस्क्रिप्टिव, जिसमें आपको रिपोर्ट्स, एसेज, लेटर्स ये लिखने को आएंगी बड़ी। तो अगर वहाँ पर आप सोच सकते हो कि यहाँ पे अगर 2 क्वेश्चन गलत हो गए तो यू हैव लॉस्ट जस्ट 2 मार्क्स, बट अगर आपका एक ऐसे गलत हो गया तो रिपोर्ट विल कम फॉर 15 मार्क्स फॉर एग्जाम्पल. So 15 of report and 15 of your letter or essay means you lost 30 marks, means half of your paper gone. 60 नंबर 60 मार्क्स का पेपर होगा फाइनल का और उसमें से आपने 30 मार्क्स गंवा दिए क्योंकि आपने वो ड्राफ्टिंग दोनों की सही नहीं. So that's very important. Okay, so please start reading newspapers, start reframing articles, so it will improve your writing skills. So basically when you will appear for the paper, that is important. So slowly we'll come on to the spoken practice as well, because I'll ask you questions over here and you'll have to answer me. So that will be kind of your listening lab, because I'll ask you questions and you'll answer me in the same format. So when you appear for the IELTS, I think you must be aware of there is a test called IELTS, International English Language Testing System. So in its it's in speaking skills. What they do, they ask you questions like right now I am sitting in front of you. So that will be kind of practice of your spoken. But for you, that is very important that you need to work on your writing skills. Okay. Any questions, class, or I'll go for your attendance. Before that, I'll have to close first of all the recording so that the file will not be that heavy that it will be hard for you to download it. Thanks for today's lecture, but wait for I'll take your attendance and I'll ask that if you have any questions.